There's not much more of a picturesque background to go racing with for round 2 of the South African Endurance Series here in East London at the East London Grand Prix circuit. Yesterday's qualifying saw some incredible lap times being put in and put a pull beam for the very first time onto pole position, with a young driver partnering up with 2 slightly elderly statesmen to take on the best of South African Endurance Series. Right behind him though, he's got 2 very exceptionally quick Lamborghinis, and we managed to catch up with the top 3 yesterday to find out what their plans are for race day today and the Buffalo City 700. It's 4 hours of racing. Stay with us, stay tuned, and enjoy all the action. This is a completely different car to what you've ever played in before.
Yes, so it's endurance racing. I've never actually done it, so I'm super excited. It's all here, or just here to have fun and to try something new.
Listen, you've tried something new all season long. You've done polos, you've done national rally championships, now endurance racing. You basically got your hand in all the pies and all the burgers.
Yes, well, there's one more planned, but we'll keep that a secret for now. But for this weekend, it's this car, and we'll see how good we can do.
What's the Italian stallion like?
No, it's quite fast. It's way quicker than the Polo Cup car, so it's also new for me, and the track is new, so it's a fast combination and makes it fun.
I bet you're having a lot of fun. I'm sure you're looking forward to more of it on the weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
Fantastic to have Chop Sapuka back behind a proper race car. What was it like out there?
No, it feels awesome. Just a bit of getting used to it and the wind and the back markers, but I think once we find the rhythm, we're going to be on pace.
He's a bit rusty, eh?
But he's still quicker than me. So no, I'm so happy to have Chops in the car again, and in this track at home. We are both from here. I'm from Tsolo, is from Kombo, so I was really living up for this moment. I'm excited that I'm having him in the car too this weekend.
Now, the Kombo boys are going to be checking you out and making sure that you get some pace today.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a long time since you've been behind the proper race car. You know, I said that at the start. What is it going to take to get back up to pace?
Look, it's just the mind shift and more sit time. There's also substitution for sit time, and we should be on pace.
This is a quick car. I think you're going to mean for a big one at the front end. You've got a quick little car next to you from the sister team. So what's the plans?
We'll just fight it off gingerly.
Rob's a complete rebuild on this car after a massive shunt down at Desi's Raceway. How are you feeling, and what's the car feeling like?
Well, the car feels good. The guys did an absolutely amazing job to get it rebuilt in a short time between races. You know, I've got to take your hat off to them, because I mean, they just worked the backsides off and they got it done. Car feels good. It's just the nut behind the wheel that needs to get a bit more confident after that big off. But other than that, I'm happy. We're going to go out there and we're going to have fun.
Jedi Jenkins in there with you as well, nice little teammate to have.
Yes, it is. You know, Peter raced in the series last year in a Cobra, and I sort of gave him the word and told him what a good team Bucket List Racing was. And the Bucket List, you know, they've helped beyond all expectations. I've had such a great time with them. They're a great team to race with, and I think Peter's going to enjoy himself as well.
Nice sight to see Team Perfect Circle back in the South African Endurance Racing Championship for this weekend. And on a side note, first time in the car, what was it like getting out there after a little bit of a shakedown?
Yeah, the car's good, the track is great. Unfortunately, you know, one of the little flatties lost the engine and put oil just about everywhere, so I got very little laps in. But it's fantastic to be back. Just great. Looking forward to the weekend.
Fortunately, you've had a little bit of extra seat time compared to Saul, so I know you got concentrating on this weekend, but you got next weekend. You've had previous outings in the other Super Cup Polo GTI that you've got, so that little bit of extra seat time is certainly going to help out.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Look, this car, you know, when we came here last year, we had a magnificent run. Mm-hmm. It started raining, as you can remember. We came second with a car against much better equipment and more sports car type, the Ferraris and the Porsches. So we need to be tracking. I mean, you'll see the Lamborghinis are here, everybody is here, so it's going to be a tough weekend, but Saul is back, you know. So he's a very fast driver, and I'm very happy to partner with him, and we're going to give it a go.
Coming off a phenomenal weekend last weekend at the Pekisa 200, and it really looks like this number 23 machine is on pace.
Yep, absolutely. We've had 2 sessions already this morning. Car's on pace, we're happy with it. A little bit of tweak on the setup still to do, but it's so far so good.
Nice team setup as well with yourself, Dean and Gerald. It looks like everything seems to be working according to plan so far for 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great driver lineup. We're all pretty much consistently on pace, and the guys pull well.
I know you're going to try and get a sort of a class win if possible for the Cobras, but I think there's also a little bit of a look at the index of performance from your guys' point of view.
Yeah, look, index of performance definitely up there. It points to consistency during the race. But ultimately a class win is what we want to be going for. It's good for the championship. We were robbed at the last race, unfortunately, with an incident in the second part of the race. So we're looking to make up for that this weekend.
Keegs, it's fantastic to see this Golf GTI back on circuit, buddy. I bet you've been itching to get behind the wheel, but it's a completely different ball game in endurance championship.
Yeah, look, we go in with the harder option tyres, so obviously we don't have as much grip as we normally do when we do the sprint races, but yeah, it's definitely so different. We got 100 litres of fuel now, so more weight on board, and also I haven't been to this track in long, so it's quite interesting to get into it and learn how to not attack it as much, but just to go with the flow kind of thing.
What's the plan of action in terms of the team? Are we looking for a class win? Are we looking for an overall win? What's the deal?
Yeah, look, we obviously want to do a class win. I think overall win will be a little bit of a stretch against GT3 cars, but yeah, it's going to be our second ever 4-hour, and hopefully we can make it to the end safely and have a good one.
It's so good to have this car back on track.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while, so we're both just trying to find our feet. But it feels great to have the team together again. I mean, we created such an awesome team, and the team chemistry over the last 3 or 4 years. So being out of it for so long was a bit sad, but now we're back and everyone's keen and we're racing.
There you have it, Yuri Swart. What an incredible lap time out there, buddy. I don't think a lot of people realize that you were behind the wheel of this car all day long, and then all of a sudden they went, hang on a second, how did that Bill Bin get to the front? I thought Carruthers and Walker were there, and all of a sudden Umpy jumped in.
Oh no, man. Anyway, thanks to the guys, that's all I'm going to say. Without them, it wouldn't be ever this opportunity, and opportunity like this doesn't come often for a tins of races. So I'm just blessed to be here. And yeah, no, it was a great lap. I didn't get many laps the whole day, but its main thing is tomorrow. Collie is just bragging rights. Arnold also did an awesome lap, and again, just always with Arnold and I on the front. So.
Exactly.
Welcome back to action from the South African Endurance Series here at the East London Grand Prix Circuit. Cars rolling out now for the race. 4 hours. It's the Buffalo City 700. Proudly brought to you by Bigfoot Express Freight, Toys R Us, and Haval. That is the pull beam we've been talking about. Yuri Swart will start on the front row behind the wheel of that incredible sports car. But he'll have to be led out by Haval Inbel. Jolion first, as it heads down towards Potter's Pass and leads out this big pack of cars. Lots of Cobras in the mix as well, a couple of saloon cars and some sports cars, and incredibly, a couple of cars starting from pit lane as well, including the Golf GTI from Volkswagen Motorsport. So Zolile Leclerc is going to have to start from pit lane as well, and the Lotus as they head down towards Potters for the first time. Chopping and changing there amongst some of the sports cars, and the Cobras as they go to the fastest right-hander in South African Motorsport. There you see Zolile Leclerc and Chop Sapuka. Sapuka starting the race. He'll be behind the wheel of that Lamborghini. They had to do a little bit of additional work on it after the South African GT Racing Association hour and half-hour races after a big crash earlier in the day from Chop Sapuka. Ollie Neveling looking for a way now to get ahead, and he's done that. He's got through. Is he possibly going to look to try and lead things out from the word go? Good start there coming out of the Haval Porsche as well. Haval Inval sponsoring the side of that Porsche. Looks like Roy is going to have it all on his own for the hour. He's going to be out there to do the hour endurance, which is a race within the race. And Arnie Neveling just disappearing in the front end here to sort things out ahead of Umpy. Yuri Swart in second. That is Mikhail Batumba in the Porsche in third. As they cross the line, you can see them sorting things out there. Mike McLaughlin just ahead of Andre Besaidnote. Then it's the Porsche. First of the Cobras by the looks of things there going across the line. Could possibly be being the man we spoke to there, Philip Mayer, in the People Group 1. There goes the Golf GTI and the Lotus, who've started from pit lane and are now starting to tick off the field one by one. The Ranjis and Neveling sharing that car today at the lead of the race. And there's a whole steam train coming through here. Look at that. Big pack of Cobras in the mix is one of the Ligiers there of Rion Potma. It looks like also starting to come through the field there, an international field. Watch out for little Shelby Can-Am in the mix as well. To have such a big field, and of course Doug McDonald and Flashman Finneran who will be sharing that car. Oh, already a call for the safety car and for the course car. The P Series Bucky being called out there to do some duties and recover a vehicle, as the Jolion will now take up the front end of this field. Not quite sure what's gone wrong out there. We'll try and pick it up on our cameras around the circuit. but definitely a problem on the track. Solhack and Andre Bezuidenhout, there it is. It's the local car. Can you believe it? Chris Radloff, Michael Radloff, unfortunately with a big incident and had to be brought back on the flatbed. Green flags once again, and this time Solhack leads things out. Zolile Letlaka now and Chop Sapuka. Sapuka behind the wheel of the Lamborghini as he starts to get through the mix and through this field rapidly. No one diving in to take advantage of that first safety car and maybe get a pit stop underway. Here's Mike McLaughlin diving on the inside, looks like of the Mini. Mini being piloted first out by Peter Jenkins and Rob Clark, the two of them sharing that car as we heard from Bucket List Racing. A bit of chopping and changing there as well. Looks like this is the lead for Class E in the Cobra category. You've got Steve Clark and Richard Rutz fighting hard at this point in time with that People Group machine. And just ahead of them at this point in time, it looks like the 61 car coming through there. Jonathan Thomas actually leading Class E at this point. So a bit of a three-way fight there between the Cobras. Cobra class certainly starting to heat up. Paul Beam at the front end looking for a chance to just be behind Chop Sapuka. And looks like we may have lost the Ranjis. The Ranjis has gone missing. And the Paul Beam has now taken the lead of the race. Chop Sapuka starting to close in on him. But I think we've lost the Ranjis. And big problems there possibly for the sister car of that Lamborghini crossing the line. Going to keep an eye out for it somewhere on circuit and see if we maybe pick it up on one of our cameras. But we've definitely lost Charles Ranjis and Arnie Nevlin in the Golf Racing Lamborghini out of Stradale Motorsport. Chop Sapuka putting in the lap times here big time. Slowly but surely ticking them off and getting to the front. He's not too far behind. Solhack following him on with the Team Perfect Circle and Bucket List Racing Polo Super Cup car. Behind that, it's Rian Botma who's flying in the Ligier. They've had problems all day long and all weekend long, in fact, in that Ligier. We've actually lost all three of the Ligiers. The only one that is still circulating after a bit of work is Rian Botma in the Direct Tech machine. Solhack for Team Perfect Circle and Bucket List Racing. Nice to see three saloon cars from Bucket List Racing this weekend. Hack and Bezuidenhout in the Super Cup Polo. Clark and Jenkins in the Mini. And then, of course, Jaden Els, who we spoke to at the beginning of the race. He will be in the Alpha, but this is the battle for the Cobras. Four of them going at it. Absolutely brilliant stuff there. And at that point in time, looks like it might have been Richard Rutz leading things out. The Paul Beam still leads overall. How far back is the Letlaka? And look at this. Roy Aubrey is in the mix there with those Cobras now in the Porsche 993. McLaughlin in the slightly quicker and, of course, turbocharged car. He's just at the front end of that Cobra battle for Class E. Chop Sapuka just putting in the lap times that are required to try and close that gap down on the Paul Beam. Botma's up to third at this point. I think Hack might have just moved up in about fourth place overall there in the Bucket List Racing car. There is the lead car. So the Paul Beam's still leading things out at this point, but there's definitely a move on from Chop Sapuka to close that gap down. The Porsche's got through on the lead cars in terms of that battle for Class E. Pulling to the sideline, another one of the Class E competitors. Watch, it's the 6 car. That, of course, is the spare car out of the Backdraft Racing stable. It was Robin Creel sharing it with Stian Creel and Kursi Veyers, and they might have to get that car back in. Speaking of cars coming in, Shelby's got a bit of a problem. Finneran there going through. Flashman Finneran going through. Probably going to have to do a little pit stop there and get that car sorted out, but the problems there on McDonald's Shelby Can-Am. Here we go, back to the fight for Cobra Honours. Looks like the fight continues there. Richard Rutz trying to find a way through on Jonathan Thomas. Thomas all over the back end of the lead Cobra, who of course is in a separate class. GT5 is the big Cobra with the wing. That's Mike flying high at this point, but of course looking for opportunities if there are any. McLaughlin at this point in time is definitely going to be under the whip there ever so slightly, and about to be caught here by the Bucket List Racing Polo as well. That Super Cup Polo is such a good car. Team Perfect Circle colours on it, but of course it comes out of the Bucket List Racing stable due to the fact that Solhack and Andre Bezuidenhout will also be piloting their own vehicles in the South African Championship for GTC Super Cup, and that happens in a week's time, a little bit further up the coast in the Aldo Scramanti circuit of Port Elizabeth, or Kobacha as it's known now. Hometown, of course, of the Golf GTI. That's right on the tailpiece there. Interesting to see that. The Polo Super Cup GTI leading out the Golf GTI 8. And across the line they go. It could be a bit of a fight out there, big time. Here comes Chop Sapuka though, and it doesn't look like Keegan Masters has found a way through. They were battling a little bit with Boost, so maybe the Polo is just getting a slightly better run here, and they want to try and get as much data into that car as possible for Volkswagen Motorsport to potentially run that car in the entire series. There is the Bucket List Racing Alpha I was just talking about, and of course it's Jaden Els who will be piloting that one. He of course is partnering up there with Chris Pretorius. The two of them doing such a good job in that little car. New car to the series there going across the line. It's the 52 machine. Let's run there from them. Yeah, look at this Cobra battle. It has continued literally like that for the last 10-15 laps. There has been nothing in it between the top three Cobras looking for opportunities to win things out in Class E. Big pressure being applied there. Possibilities that we could see a change up there. Pull beam is about to be caught though. He's been able to just stay at the front end for a while, but slowly but surely, Tlaka and Chop Sapuka with Sapuka behind the wheel closing in. Lights flashing there just to warn Saul Hack he's coming. Nice to see that from the drivers, giving a little bit of room there to the slightly lower slung cars. Sometimes when you're in a saloon car, it makes it very difficult to spot the sports cars behind you. And it's just an indication of what the gap is at the moment between Sapuka and that pull beam at the front end. Bigfoot Express Freight being told to come in. So that means Mikhail Patumba will be coming in for a pit stop from round 2 of the South African Endurance Series here at East London Grand Prix Circuit to join us for a couple of pit stops. Saul Hack handing over to Andre Besaidenote now for Team Perfect Circle and Bucket List Racing. See Andre Us hopping out there as well as they head out onto the circuit, coming in as well. The lead Cobra at that point. Richard Ritz going to be handing over to Steve Clark to take over duties in the Luso Cafe and Motel sponsored Cobra. And we're at the front end of that battle. We'll be looking to stay at the front end of that battle and fight hard with Jonathan Thomas and with Dean Wilson, Gerald Wright, and of course Philip Mayer in the People Group car. That's the GT5 car. Mike McLaughlin now handing over duties. Looks like it's Trevor Graham or Brian Martin who's jumped into that car now. Zolile Letlaka, high five and a fist pump. Hands over to Chop Sapuka. So apologies for that. I thought it was actually Chop Sapuka who had started the race, but Zolile was actually in the start of the race and now hands over to Chop Sapuka. Sapuka will probably up the pace ever so slightly now. Try and close that gap down on the lead car. The pull beam, Francis Carruthers, Yuri Swart, and a big welcome return there to Greg Walker in that car as well. Bucket List Racing have got their Alpha in and out. And Julia heads back into the fray out on the East London Grand Prix circuit. Looks like a bit of an issue here as Gerald Wright's come in. He was in earlier and he's now handed over. As you can see, he's doing the tyre duties there. Handed over to the second driver. And Dean Wilson rolls out. Demateur Racing, Julian Familiaris sharing the car there, and unfortunately Franco Nemato's Ligia didn't make it down. He had some problems with the car at the first round, as we saw. He nursed it across the line and they just didn't get enough time to get it sorted out. Ooh, speaking of time, that tyre looks like it's had a time of its life. A little bit of damage on that back left on the Demateur Racing Cobra as it makes its way back on track. David Katsia, Julian Familiaris, and incredibly to see those three cars fighting hard. Remember, you also got Lorenzo Gautieri as part of that team. Morne Jurgens and Claire Val sharing that machine, and also one of the cars that we saw in the hunt at the front end of the Cobra Class E battle. Claire Val will be handing, of course, to Morne Jurgens to stay out there for a little bit longer, but she'll be looking forward to getting into the fray as well. Nice fight expected there. Brandon Dean just rolls in behind one of the cars that come in there for its scheduled pit stop. Lots of pit stop right now. It's the pit stop window that's basically opened up here. Zolile Letlaka and his ability to hand over Chop Sapuka pay dividend here. Chop Sapuka has turned the wick up big time. And lap times have dropped dramatically with the Lamborghini at the front end. There's a very good possibility we're going to have a bit of a fight at the front. Looks like a bit of battle scars on the front left of that Team Perfect Circle Bucket List Racing polo as well. Besaidenote coming together with one of the cars earlier on and possibly taking out that front left headlight. And that's what can happen now. As you can see, the sun is starting to dip here. The light is starting to fade. We're getting into the closing stages of this one. And as I say that, we got a problem there for the People Group machine. Philip Mayer, Dean Wilson, and Gerald Wright with an issue. The pull beam has been caught and passed. By the looks of things, is about to be caught again. So Chop Sapuka has done it all right. He's taken the lead of the race and looks like he may want to put in an extra lap onto the pull beam there. It's Greg Walker behind the wheel of the pull beam at the moment. Francis Carruthers came in, and I think when Carruthers was out on track, that's when we saw the change up in this 4 hour for the lead of the race. It's very difficult for our cameras to pick up on any of the cars out there other than headlights until we see them from the side of the circuit. Here goes McLaughlin. He wants to finish it up, and McLaughlin also looking for a chance there for a third place overall. They've done a great job there for the backdrop car. The Alpha slowing up ever so slightly as well. That Alfa Romeo, maybe Jaden Nelson's got a bit of an issue there with fuel. Maybe he wants to just nurse it to the line. Checkered flag is on standby waiting for Chop Sapuka and Zolile Letlaka's Lamborghini. The Into Africa Mining Group and Stradale car, they've got the People Group car back on track, but as I say that, pulling to the sideline, Gerald Wright has not been able to nurse that Cobra home by the sounds of it and by the looks of it. He's had to park it on the side of the circuit. As I said, checkered flag is on standby. History is about to be made. We're about to see the first team of colour to take a victory in a South African endurance race series. And the flag marshal gets to spot that car. There he comes out of the complex now and up towards the top of the hill, towards Beacon Corner in the dying light. But as I said, history about to be made as Chop Sapuka and Zolile Letlaka are going to become... Oh no, they're going to get one more lap. They've been waved on for one more lap, so it hasn't quite gone to the 4 hour mark just yet. So they've got to do one additional lap there. Saul Hack on a episode note, trying to get their car to the line and just moving across the line, realizing the Lambo's coming. Good move. This is going to be formation flying. First and second on track across the line. It is the Lamborghini, followed by Saul Hack. And look at that, nursing it across the line behind him, his teammate in the Bucket List Racing Alpha. Oh, what a finish there to the South African Endurance Race, round 2. Letlaka and Chop Sapuka taking the win over Saul Hack and Andre Besaidnout in the Polo Super Cup GTI. Beating out Trevor Graham, Brian Martin, and Mike McLaughlin in the Backdraft Cobra. Clark and Roots taking the win in the Cobra class. But it looked like at one stage there might be a little bit of an issue on this car.
Yeah, we picked up a clutch issue quite late, in about an hour, just over an hour to go, and so difficult with a turbo car to try and nurse a clutch because there's just the torque comes in and it's very difficult to manage. But we just sort of had to make sure they got to the end. It was dicey at the end. I had some of the production backdrops were having a go out of the corners, and any opportunity they can get to give the turbo car a go, they're ruthless.
But I believe that there's some big plans in place for a car coming, hopefully by Swartkops.
Yeah, we got a new car we're building for Mike. It's a secret car at the moment, but it's coming out. It's going to be good. And we're hoping to have more production cars there as well.
It's fantastic.
It's really tough today with the car had a bit of a vibration sort of shortly after the start, I think from one of the tyres. So through Potters and Rifle, it's a sort of bounces your eyeballs a bit. But yeah, it's a great team effort. We've got quite a big team that's behind us, and really thanks to Tony and Brian for all the effort that they put into our team, and it's really nice, to get nice results, and so we're really happy. Yeah.
The longest than what was expected, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what happened was that the pull beam came in. It had a spin, and at that moment we just made a call to say there's an hour and 20 minutes left, and let's get Saul in the car, and we put him in the car, and that's it. We came to second. Can you believe it?
But I've got to say, when you take the experience that both you and Andre have had, what Chop Sapuka's had, the guys behind you have had, and you look at what Zolile has been able to do today, take nothing away from the effort that you guys put in as Team Perfect Circle and Bucket List Racing. What an effort there from that team.
No, it's amazing. I mean, these cars, how beautiful these cars, and you can see how lacquer they look on track. And all they had to do was keep it on the track and do their job, and that's what they did. So it's fantastic.
You guys certainly did a great job as well, because not only did you guys finish up second for Team Bucket List, but Bucket List Racing, your teammates today, all 3 cars in the top 10.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. We were actually talking about it on the radio in the last 20 minutes, saying where's everyone in the team, and I think it was 2, 5, and 9 or something like that. So.
Yes.
I mean, that's
2,
amazing.
5 and 10, right? 2, 6 and 10 is how they
That's
finished.
a great effort from the team overall. It's
Chop Sapuka and Zolile Letlaka, who have just made history in South African motorsport. Chopsy, while he's taking his helmet off, incredible effort from the team, considering the fact that you guys had a damaged car to start with, and you managed to nurse it through, and in fact attack in the end.
It's incredible. The team have just done a phenomenal job, and I think without them we couldn't have made it this far. It's amazing how Kolile has just recovered from that stint and came through. And now we're in history. It's unbelievable.
You guys have become the first men of colour to win a South African endurance race in South African motorsport. How's that feel?
I'm quite emotional. This has been something that I've always dreamt about, to bring inclusiveness in the game. And for me and this man to do it in our home ground, it will give hope to many to come. I'm so happy today.
There is no doubt about that. That is exactly what you said at the first round at Desi, saying, you know, how we want to bring the sport into a fully inclusive sport.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we've shown what can be done here today.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to this guy. Thanks that we did it here. I am lost for words. I'm okay. Really emotional right now.
Fantastic emotional scenes there for the first win for the men of colour. And Stradale Motorsport, they're going to be pretty stoked with that. And heading into Swartkops, definitely going to be looking forward to more of the same from Stradale Motorsport. But it is the home of Team Perfect Circle as well. So I wonder if we can see that Super Cup Polo move up one position and take an overall victory there. Volkswagen Motorsport and Bucket List Racing will certainly be hoping for that.